Imagine being on a battlefield. In front of you, 10,000 men who seem not to die, warriors who enter a trance of fury, armies that devastate entire continents, and soldiers who from childhood were forged to kill without mercy. Throughout history, there were castes of warriors so feared that their mere presence was enough to break the morale of entire empires. Today you will find out who were the 10 most feared warriors in history, and you will see how its shadow continues to inspire fear even centuries later. Are you ready to take on the deadliest elite that ever lived? History of the Immortals. Where history roars with steel and legend, subscribe and be part of the legacy that never dies. Over the centuries, war has forged figures that transcend time. Warriors whose discipline, ferocity, and strategy made them living legends, leaving their mark in battles, empires, and stories that still shake us today. From the cold lands of Sparta to the vast territories of the Mongol Empire, we will meet those who mastered war and fear, and understand why their name still resonates as a symbol of absolute power. Position number 10. The Greek Hoplites. The Hoplites were heavy infantrymen whose reputation for fearsome came not from individual strength, but from the collective discipline and synchrony of the phalanx. Armed with the long spear called the dory, the round shield known as the hoplon, and protected by bronze cuirass, helmet, and greaves, each hoplite was part of a human wall that advanced steadily, without hesitation. For their enemies, facing a phalanx formation was terrifying. A single mistake could break the line and cost lives. Its uniform and heavy equipment projected a sense of invulnerability. Dory spears allowed for ranged attacks, while hoplon shields intertwined, protecting soldiers and making it nearly impossible for an opponent to break the formation. In addition, their personal motivation, fighting for the polis and for honor, made them resolute warriors, determined never to back down, generating psychological fear even before contact. The Battle of Marathon, 490 BC, is the most famous example of hoplite power. During this confrontation, the Athenians, although outnumbered by the Persians, managed to defeat them thanks to the cohesion of their phalanx and the effectiveness of their dory and hoplon. The tactical precision and discipline of the hoplites broke through the Persian lines, proving that strategy and unity could overcome numerical superiority. Simply put, hoplites were feared not for extreme brutality, but for discipline, training, synchronicity, and determination, a combination that made them a formidable and respected army throughout Greece. Their legacy set the foundations for Western military tactics and the standard of psychological fear in ancient warfare. Position number 9. The Jaguar and Eagle Warriors. At the heart of the Mexica Empire, the Jaguar and Eagle Warriors emerged. The Aztec military elite whose ferocity inspired terror in any enemy. They were not simple soldiers. They were selected from a young age, trained in military academies called Telpochcali for the commons and Calmecac for the nobles, where they learned strategy, physical endurance, and mastery of weapons. They were equipped with deadly weapons such as the Macuahuitl, an obsidian-reinforced wooden sword capable of cutting like a metal edge, and atlatls, dart throwers that increased the strength and range of their projectiles. In addition, they carried decorated shields and armor made of jaguar or eagle skin, symbols of status and their lethality in combat. Their reputation was based on both tactical skill and psychological terror. The Jaguar and Eagle warriors not only fought, but captured enemies alive for sacrifice, sending a message of fear to all who dared to challenge the empire. Each raid or battle became a spectacle of power and terror. During the Florida War, ritual confrontations between city-states to capture prisoners, the Jaguar and Eagle warriors demonstrated their lethality. Although these wars were ritualistic, the precision of their hand-to-hand combat, ferocity, and discipline meant that enemies could rarely repel them. Even warriors from other Mesoamerican states described them as nearly invincible when it came to capturing strategic targets. They were feared not only for their physical prowess and mastery of weapons, such as the Macuahuitl or the Atlatl, but for the combination of strategy, discipline, and an aura of ritual terror. Their mere presence on the battlefield could break the morale of the adversaries, ensuring the expansion and consolidation of the Aztec Empire. Position number 8. The Zulu Warriors. In southern Africa, under the leadership of Shaka Zulu in the 19th century, a revolutionary military force emerged. The Zulu Warriors. More than an army, they were an organized system that combined iron discipline, extreme training, and innovative tactics that forever changed warfare in the region. Shaka introduced the Buffalo Horn formation, a brilliant tactical maneuver that divided the army into 3 sections: the left horn, the right horn, and the central body, surrounding and crushing the enemies. Each warrior was armed with the Ikolwa, a short spear for hand-to-hand combat, and a long leather shield called an isihlangu, which provided protection and held the formation together. Their fearsome reputation came not only from physical strength, but from the psychological terror they generated. Zulu warriors trained from a young age, running long distances barefoot and learning to fight with precision and ferocity. Each attack was coordinated and lethal, leaving enemies confused and terrified. During the Battle of Isandlwana, 1879, the Zulus overwhelmingly defeated a heavily armed and well-trained British contingent. Approximately 20,000 Zulu warriors surrounded and annihilated some 1,300 British soldiers, proving that strategy, discipline, and ferocity could surpass even European military technology. This confrontation cemented its fame as one of the most feared armies in history. Zulu warriors were feared not only for their skill with the Ikolwa or their physical endurance, but for their discipline, advanced combat tactics, and to strike fear into the heart of the enemy. Their legacy remains an example of how a well-organized army can defeat seemingly superior forces. Position number 7. The Mamluks. In the heart of Egypt and the Middle East, a unique military elite emerged, the Mamluks. Originally slaves of Turkish, Circassian, or Arab origin, they were captured as children and trained from an early age to become elite soldiers. Their training included mastery of cavalry, fencing, military tactics, and absolute discipline, making them a virtually invincible army. They were equipped with curved swords, spears, bows, and light armor that allowed them to move quickly and accurately on the battlefield. Their riding prowess and tactical coordination made them formidable, both offensively and defensively. Each Mamluk was trained not only to fight, but to anticipate and counter enemy movements, turning any engagement into a demonstration of skill and strategy. At the Battle of Ain Jalut, 1260, the Mamluks of the Sultanate of Egypt faced the powerful Mongol cavalry, considered invincible at the time. Thanks to their mobility, discipline, and ambush tactics, the Mamluks defeated the Mongols, marking the first major defeat of this army, and stopped its advance into the Middle East. This victory cemented their reputation as fearsome warriors and superior strategists. What really made them feared was not only their military skill, but their constant training, discipline, and adaptability. Unlike other armies, the Mamluks could execute complex maneuvers under pressure, intimidating even the most experienced enemies. Over time, they not only became elite soldiers, but military rulers of Egypt, consolidating their political and military power for centuries. The Mamluks were feared for their skill, discipline, advanced tactics, and ability to surprise the enemy, leaving a military legacy that endured beyond the battlefield. Position number 6. The Knights Templar. During the Crusades, one of the most famous military orders in history emerged, the Knights Templar. They were not mere soldiers. They were warrior monks, men who combined religious discipline, military training, and absolute loyalty to their cause. Their mission was to protect Christian pilgrims in the Holy Land and fight against the enemies of Christianity. But their effectiveness made them a respected and feared army. Equipped with long swords, spears, bows, and heavy chainmail armor, the Templars could engage both enemy infantry and cavalry. Their discipline and training in battle allowed them to maintain cohesion even in situations of extreme danger, making them an implacable adversary on the battlefield. In addition, their vow of poverty, chastity, and obedience gave them an absolute dedication that separated them from the rest of the medieval armies. At the Battle of Montgisard, 1177, the Knights Templar played a decisive role, alongside the young King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem. Faced with a much larger army led by Saladin, the Templars staged a surprise attack that disrupted the enemy lines. Montgisard demonstrated the Templars' combination of discipline, training, and extreme bravery. Perfectly trained knights charged Saladin's forces, protected the king, and contributed to a victory that seemed impossible. Their reputation as disciplined and fanatical warriors was no exaggeration. Facing a Templar meant meeting a soldier who was trained, determined, and completely committed to their cause, capable of changing the course of battle with his bravery and strategy. Montgisard was recorded as an example of how military prowess and faith combined could defeat even a seemingly invincible enemy. Position number 5. The Samurai. In feudal Japan, a warrior caste emerged that would define centuries of history: the samurai. From childhood, they were rigorously trained in martial arts, strategy, and discipline under the Bushido Code, which combined honor, loyalty, and personal sacrifice. This training made each samurai an exceptional combatant, capable of staying calm in the midst of chaos and executing precise maneuvers in battle. Samurai were equipped with katana, a symbol of their status and skill, as well as longbows, naginatas, and lacquered plate armor, which allowed them to attack both at a distance and in close combat. Their combination of dexterity, quickness, and precision made them formidable even against more numerous enemies. During the Battle of Sekigahara, 1600, which would define Japan's control, the samurai demonstrated their lethality in coordinated maneuvers and strategic attacks. Although it was a massive conflict with tens of thousands of fighters, the discipline and training of the samurai allowed their leaders to execute decisive tactics that determined the outcome, consolidating the power of the Tokugawa shogunate and making it clear why their enemies deeply feared them. What made them truly fearsome was not just their physical ability, but their unwavering loyalty and moral determination. A samurai would fight and die for his lord without hesitation, becoming a psychological force that could break the enemy's morale. Their reputation was such that the mere presence of samurai on the battlefield could intimidate entire armies. Samurai were feared for their rigorous training, mastery of weapons, discipline, tactics, and absolute loyalty, combining military skill with a code of honor that transformed them into lethal warriors and respected by all, allies and enemies alike. Position number 4. The Viking Berserkers. In medieval Northern Europe, Viking Berserkers were warriors who took ferocity to the extreme. These men could enter a state known as Berserker Gang, a trance of uncontrollable rage that made them practically immune to fear and pain. Armed with swords, axes, and round shields, and sometimes fighting even naked, the Berserkers attacked with a violence that terrified their enemies before the battle even began. What made them especially fearsome was not only their strength, but their ability to induce psychological terror. Enemy accounts describe Viking charges where berserkers broke through lines of defense and wreaked havoc among troops, causing panic and disorganization. Their reputation was such that many opponents preferred to surrender rather than face them face to face. At the Battle of Stamford Bridge, 1066, legend tells of a berserker who challenged an army on a narrow bridge. It is said that this warrior, driven mad by the trance, killed more than 40 English soldiers before being defeated. His ferocity at the bottleneck halted the English advance, terrorizing his opponents and buying time for his comrades to prepare. This story, while legendary, captured the essence of the berserker, a relentless, terror-inspiring force of nature. Berserkers were feared not only for their skill in combat, but for their ability to alter the course of battle through terror, uncontrollable fury, and strategic intimidation, leaving a lasting mark on the history of Norse warfare and Viking legend. Position number 3. The Persian Immortals. In the vast expanse of the Achaemenid Empire, an elite unit emerged that inspired respect and fear alike: the Persian Immortals. Their name came from the fact that they always maintained a constant number of 10,000 soldiers, and each casualty was immediately replaced, giving the impression that they never dwindled in numbers. This constant presence generated a sense of invincibility in his enemies. Armed with bows, spears, light shields, and daggers, the Immortals combined mobility, discipline, and tactics. They were not just guardians of the Persian king, but a shock force capable of facing any threat on the battlefield. Their intense training and cohesion as a unit allowed them to execute complex maneuvers, maintaining organization even under fierce attacks. During the conquest of Babylon in 539 BC, the Persian Immortals played a crucial role in the decisive Battle of Opis. Their presence, as the king's elite guard, was synonymous with victory, and their discipline, skill, and tactical cohesion saw Nabonidus's forces face a relentless Persian army. Their advance, which seemed never to be slowed down by the constant replenishment of their ranks, demoralized the adversaries. The victory at Opis was not only the mainstay of Babylon's conquest, but it also cemented their fame as invincible warriors on the battlefield. What really made them feared was their combination of constant numbers, rigorous training, creating a devastating psychological effect on those who faced them. Not only did the Immortals fight with skill, but they represented the absolute power of the Persian Empire, a force that seemed unstoppable and inspired fear even before the battle began. The Persian Immortals were feared for their discipline, cohesion, tactics, and illusion of invincibility, leaving a legacy as one of the most iconic elite units of antiquity. Position number 2. The Mongol warriors. In the vast steppes of Asia, an army emerged that forever changed the face of war. The Mongols, led by Genghis Khan. From a young age, Mongols were trained in horseback riding, long-range compound bows, and rapid attack maneuvers, becoming extraordinary horsemen and deadly marksmen. Their mobility was legendary, capable of traveling tens of kilometers a day, surprising unsuspecting enemies, and attacking with devastating precision. They were equipped with compound bows, curved swords, spears, and small light armor, optimized for speed and endurance. Their tactic combined lightning strikes, mounted archery, and enemy encirclement, known as the envelopment maneuver, which isolated and destroyed the adversary before they could regroup. During the Battle of Khalkha, 1223, the Mongols faced a combined army of Russian princes. Through their superior mobility, coordinated attacks, and tactical feints, the Mongols defeated much larger forces, leaving their enemies completely disorganized. Its precision and brutality in combat generated panic and immediate demoralization, consolidating its reputation as an unstoppable army. What really made them feared was not only the skill of each warrior, but the combination of discipline, speed, innovative tactics, and brutal psychological efficiency. The Mongols could defeat entire armies without losing cohesion, attacking and retreating at will, spreading terror and respect throughout Asia and Europe. Their reputation spread rapidly, causing many peoples to choose to surrender rather than engage them in battle. The Mongols were feared for their mobility, strategy, discipline, and ability to induce terror, becoming one of the most devastating and legendary armies in history. Position number 1. The Spartan warriors. In ancient Greece, there was a warrior caste that transcended history, the Spartans. From childhood, boys were subjected to the agog, a rigorous training system that taught extreme discipline, physical endurance, military strategy, and survival under the harshest conditions. This training forged men capable of enduring pain, cold, and hunger, creating soldiers who feared little or nothing on the battlefield. Armed with long spears called dori, round shields known as hoplons, and protected by bronze breastplates and helmets, the Spartans fought in the famous phalanx formation, shoulder to shoulder, forming a nearly impenetrable wall of steel. Their coordination, discipline, and synchronicity turned each attack into a demonstration of military precision and devastating power. The Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BC, is the most iconic example of its fearsome reputation. Faced with the Persian army of Xerxes, composed of hundreds of thousands of soldiers, 300 Spartans led by King Leonidas resisted for 3 days, holding the line and inflicting huge casualties on the enemy. The Persians were unable to break through the Spartan human wall, until a Greek traitor named Ephialtes revealed to Xerxes the existence of a secret mountain pass, the Anopia Gorge. Thanks to this betrayal, the Persians were able to surround the Spartans and annihilate them from the rear. Even so, the Spartans fought to their last breath, proving that discipline, strategy, and loyalty could withstand even overwhelming force and the vilest betrayal. What made them truly feared was not only their individual prowess, but their unwavering unity and absolute discipline. Each shield protected both the warrior and the entire formation, and each attack was precisely calculated. That cohesion, coupled with their extreme training, phalanx tactics, and blind loyalty to Sparta, made them the ultimate warrior elite of antiquity, whose legacy of courage, strategy, and sacrifice continues to inspire respect to this day. Thus, we conclude our journey through the 10 most feared warriors in history, men capable of bending entire armies with their courage and ferocity. But even they pale before a power that transcends the human, that of the gods. Click now and delve into the top 10 most powerful gods in universal mythology, where you will discover deities who could destroy cities with a gesture, unleash natural catastrophes, and decide the fate of men and empires. Which of them was the most powerful in history?